Last week, Bend Police released its annual report on crime numbers for 2024. It's not just a snapshot of how well law enforcement is keeping the peace here, but a much broader picture of the kinds of trends and crimes being committed in our community and whether the efforts to control the lawbreakers is working. To get that, I sat down this week with the one man who has a unique perspective and a significant influence on your safety.
Bend is a very safe community, and so is the general area around us. We are a very safe area, which is something that I think the community always needs to hear.
And I think that's great, and I love it that you're able to put that out there. But I think it would be unfair to say Bend is a safe community only because I'm chief and these are my officers. There's a lot going on
Absolutely.
in Bend that kind of helps lay the groundwork to make your jobs, I guess, easier to manage what's going on out there.
Absolutely. The law enforcement doesn't operate in a vacuum. Public safety and policing is one thing that provides safety to a community.
And we are a community that presents police with several unique challenges, starting with one of the primary attractions to a place like this, alcohol.
We are one of the highest DUI arrest statistics per capita in the state. That should not be acceptable.
An unacceptable reality for this small mountain city of just over 100,000, our 26 breweries and growing, a craft beer paradise to many of those who visit. And arrests for driving under the influence is one category of crime that just won't budge. For 4 years now, the numbers have been relatively consistent.
Still, it's in the high 500s, right? It's close to 600 again. That really is unacceptable, and that should be unacceptable for our community.
This crime is particularly troublesome because every drunk driver threatens the lives of every Bend resident. When it comes to violent and property crimes, turns out once again in 2024, Bend is not a place that the fear of becoming a victim is warranted. The numbers, even for a community this size, are low and have stayed low despite a growing population.
The last 4 years, we've seen a growth of around 5% on our population, and we haven't seen that commensurate growth in our reported crimes or our calls for service. Per capita, our crime rate is going down in our city and not increasing commensurate with the population.
Meaning, no real surprises, no big rises in the kinds of crimes that tend to dominate local headlines. There is no question in the eyes of Chief Krantz that our homeless crisis is contributing to much of the drug possession, theft, and assaults happening in Bend. But perhaps the biggest surprise, and one driving thousands of complaints, is parked along neighborhood streets from one end of town to the other.
A lot of reporting of unwanted, suspicious, or abandoned vehicles.
The numbers tell a story consistent since the pandemic. Thousands and thousands of people living in or just abandoning their cars, campers, and trucks in otherwise quiet Bend neighborhoods. Police can respond and either tow or offer services to the person in crisis. As Bend Police and the city look ahead to 2025, there is one focus in particular that addresses a top complaint among residents here.
The harm done from crashes. We have a lot of crashes in our community that we investigate. Not only physical harm, but the financial harm, right? The impact overall to the community. The feeling of safety when you're driving or in your neighborhood and you see cars that are driving fast. That impacts livability.
Chief Krantz has built up his traffic patrol to address the problem, his officers making more than 12,000 traffic stops in 2024, a number that just seems to go up every year. This year, a new piece of technology is coming to an intersection near you. Bend is installing photo enforcement, cameras that catch red light runners and speeders when there's not a cop in sight.
City Council gave the direction in late 2024 to implement the program. So we're going through now, there's an RFP that'll be coming out really soon for the photo enforcement program, and we'll have a vendor selected.
Krantz tells me you'll see those photo enforcement cameras before the end of the year. The Bend Police Department is a lean one, about 100 officers. Compare that to most cities our size, which average double that number. Krantz says he makes up the difference with technology, things like that photo enforcement we were talking about, live 911, and even the use of drones. Bottom line, Bend has the fortune of being an island in Oregon, insulated by mountains, distance, and high desert, and that continues to be one of the best defenses against high crime, even in 2024. I'm David Clue, Central Oregon Daily News.